Hi, my name is Curtis Ball. In 2006, I was diagnosed with ASD. This affects how I perceive the world around me and how I interact with others. Autism is a condition that myself and around 700,000 people in the UK live with. Autism is a spectrum disorder, which means that all autistic people can share certain symptoms that can affect them in different ways. For example, I have a condition called ADHD. It is a group of characteristic symptoms that include inattentiveness, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. The main symptom that affects me is hyperactivity, which means that I will unintentionally perform active behaviours that would seem to be unnecessary or inappropriate.
I may do things like talk constantly and frequently interrupt others, move from place to place quickly and often clumsily. I may fidget and have to pick up everything and play with it. I have trouble sitting still during quiet activities, and I keep moving even when sitting down. Many people who are not aware of my condition may find me irritating and exhausting to be around.
I've always had a problem with my sleep pattern, as my hyperactivity prevents me from committing to a sleep pattern that makes me healthy and prepared for the day ahead. As I've grown older, I've been able to grow out of some of these symptoms, or learn to control them better. Inattentiveness is the trait of not being considerate or thoughtful of other people's feelings. I don't personally suffer from this symptom, but it still falls into the persistent difficulties of social communication and interaction that myself and other people suffer from.
I back in secondary school, it was a lot worse. I used to always be a little blunt. I was always saying, "Oh God, you have terrible hair" to someone, or something like that, and I wouldn't have any real tact in social situations. I feel like that's gone a bit better now, but I still have a bit of difficulty trying to keep my opinions that other people won't appreciate to myself, and trying to be a bit less intense than I intend.
Many autistic people find it difficult to interpret both verbal and non-verbal language, like gestures or tone of voice. Many social languages that people take for granted, like body language, facial expressions, and metaphors, can feel confusing or alienating to us. We are also commonly very literal-minded, which means that we may find common phrases like break a leg confusing and taken in literally.
Autistic people often have difficulty reading other people and understanding their emotions or intentions, and have problems expressing their own emotions. This can make it very difficult for myself and others to engage in the social world.
Some autistic people may seek time alone when overloaded by other people during big social meetups or events. Some people struggle to know when to seek out help from other people, or are unsure on how to go about it. They often do not actively seek out comfort from other people around them. They might also behave in a way that can appear to be inappropriate or seen as strange from other people around them.
Yeah, I think at times. Again, not so much now, but when he was younger, yes. I think Curtis felt that as well. That's why he wouldn't involve himself in friendships. I think it was too stressful.
Autistic people are often shown to enjoy participating in repetitive behaviour and sticking to routines. Sticking to routines can often relieve them from being overwhelmed by anything unpredictable or confusing.
Yeah. I always try to get in early anywhere, no matter what. In it, I always get incredibly uncomfortable if I even at the prospect of being late to anything. I get incredibly comfortable and anxious, and I always try to wake up at the same time in the day or in the morning, and I always try to leave at the same time to go to college or anywhere else, and I always like to make sure that there is a set time to leave, so I could get there 5 or 10 minutes or even half an hour early, And I always like to make sure everything in my room is sort of in the same place as it's always been, and I sometimes try to rearrange it so that it's proper, you know.
It is common to have sensitive issues which include noises, lights and smells. Things like the bright light of a sunny day or the sound from a siren of an ambulance. You may initially assume that these symptoms are irrational or just mildly annoying to someone like you. But to someone like me, they can trigger traumatic meltdowns that can be embarrassing in public.
Absolutely, yeah. Both even now. Noise more than bright lights now, since he's got older. He certainly don't like a lot of noise. He doesn't like shouting. He doesn't like, for instance, if we're walking down the road and someone beeps their horn all of a sudden, he wouldn't like that at all. It would make him, more than you would normally flinch. Curtis would literally try to run away from it.
It has become apparent that many people with autism have learning disabilities that can affect them in the long term. It is said that between 44% and 52% of autistic people in the UK may have a learning disability. They can be affected by the symptoms commonly found in ADHD, which causes easy distractions from studying and doing uninteresting work that would improve grades.
Yes to that. I do find the difficulty staying focused in subjects I do not find interesting. But that is only if I have a distraction on hand. So if someone's talking in a lecture, I would sometimes just stare out of the window and just go into a sort of stupor. But it's different when I'm in a test, because there's no distractions there, nothing more interesting I can really think about apart from the test. So it doesn't really, as long as I have nothing else that distracts me, I usually stay pretty focused.
A majority of schools and colleges in the UK can offer additional help to children through funding from local councils. They can hire additional helpers who can assist children who are under stress or experience extreme amounts of mental instability. At a young age, it is highly more likely that young children and teens will be much more resistant to follow the rules and lash out at other students or teachers. 17% of the autistic children have been suspended from school. 48% of these have been suspended 3 or more times. 4% had been expelled from 1 or more schools. You can see how our unsociable behaviour and occasional lashing out can affect many of us in the long term.
He was, before he was diagnosed, he was excluded from school, but that was for his own safety really, because they needed to know what they were dealing with. He did part-time school for 18 months, and he was only allowed on the premises with me there until we had everything in place, LSAs and dinner ladies. He wasn't allowed to stay in at dinner time unless I was on the premises with him. And that was before his diagnosis. As soon as he got his diagnosis, along with his headmaster, who was excellent, got everybody put in place to get him back into school.
Most children are depicted as troublemakers or naughty, but a majority of them are misunderstood and deserve attention to set them on the right path. There are some people with autism who have gone on to achieve professional qualifications in universities and become successful in management roles. Unfortunately, there are some who need to have assistance and counselling throughout their entire life. If you know a friend or relative that has ASD, then let them know that they can open up to you about their problems. Just remember, there's a lot of support out there. Just over the past 5 years, I can see how much my confidence has increased, I feel calmer, and I'm ready to be independent. And so can you.